Hello and welcome back to the third season of What's in a Story, titled Narratives of Nature and Environment of South Asia. I am Lupamudra Moitro, and in this podcast I read the stories from my books as an anthropologist, writer and translator working with popular culture and heritage of India and South Asia. In my podcast here, I read stories from my books which are about folklore, myths and legends of India and South Asia, and I introduce each story with some additional information from different fields of history, archaeology, geology and others, which helps to bring a context to the story. However, it is also important to mention that the information should be studied well and understood within specific socio-cultural, religious, political or historical contexts. Most of these stories from folklore took shape across a wide range of time through centuries. And over a period of time, many features and aspects were added to the narratives, giving the shape that we come across in present times. Thus, before taking these stories as historical proof, one should be careful enough to analyze the historical context of the essence of each story. Let's try to take the positive message through these stories as we proceed with Season 3, the narratives of nature and environment of South Asia. Here, I would like to take the message forward from Season 2 of Water Narratives of South Asia and read stories which speak of the various interactions between man and nature and of stories of preserving and conserving the nature around us. Without the beautiful nature that surrounds us, we will perish sooner or later. And frankly speaking, aren't we already experiencing the grim pictures of what global warming has created all around us? Say, like rampantly cutting down trees, creating havoc across river banks and deltas, or the horrific littering of plastic waste on river banks and beaches, which has only resulted in destroying flora and fauna and choking up so many aquatic lives around us, destroying green covers massively to build concrete structures, polluting fresh water, creating a shortage of drinking water, and the list just seems to go on and on. However, fortunately, many people are also working tirelessly to combat the situation. But it just never seems to be enough. We have already lost a lot of valuable wealth, and it's time to listen to the clarion call, for there is only one earth, and that's all we have. Here's wishing a positive thought is shared through each story of this season, the third season of What's in a Story, titled Narratives of Nature and Environment of South Asia. Follows the story of the next episode in Season 3 of What's in a Story. About the story. The Iceman of India. I read this story from my book, The Owl Delivered the Good News All Night Long, Folktales, Legends and Modern Lore of India, published by Aleph Book Company. The story, The Iceman of India, has been collected, retold and written by myself for my book after a personal interaction with Chewang Norphel, who happens to be referred to as the Iceman of India. Norphel's contribution to ecology in the Ladakh region in North India remains very important and supremely significant. The personal interaction with Norphel also revealed how important are his examples for the present generation in the region, as Norphel is often consulted by many youngsters even in present times, which he specifically mentioned to me while talking to him for my book. The story is very significant to also highlight the willpower of man trying to create a space, a living space, conducive enough amidst changing circumstances, global warming, and creating a positive effect, influencing the future generation and encouraging them also to think about following a similar path. Follows the story, The Iceman of India, from my book, The Owl Delivered the Good News All Night Long, Folktales, Legends and Modern Lore of India, from Aleph Book Company. The story, The Iceman of India. A small trickling stream running through a garden near his house in Leh led to a great discovery in the cold mountains of Ladakh one day. This is the story of Chewang Norphel, also known as the Iceman of India. For creating artificial glaciers to aid agriculture amidst the failing ecological health of the region. In the words of Norphel, in the last 4 to 5 decades, this region of Ladakh has been suffering greatly due to global warming and climate changes. He had remarked specially for this book. According to him, this change has adversely affected agriculture, primarily due to lack of water. The sowing season in Ladakh is between April and May. Earlier, there used to be heavy snowfall during the winter months, and by the time of the sowing season and after that in June, there used to be enough water for agriculture. However, with the effects of global warming, the water from the glaciers almost dries up by June now. This is very harmful for the cash crops in the region, further explains Norphel. With a short summer season, water is essential in the region for the brief time of agriculture, especially during the sowing period of the cash crops. At the time when Norphel was working at the Rural Development Department of Jammu and Kashmir in Ladakh as a civil engineer, he conceived the idea of making artificial glaciers, which was inspired by Norphel's close observation of a garden near his house. He says, I noticed a small water body in a garden near my house, which had accumulated water that flowed freely from a running stream nearby. This still water amongst the trees remained in shade, and water in this area remained frozen even in the months of May and June. However, I noticed that the running water of the main stream from which the trickling water entered the garden was never frozen. From this, I gathered the idea that it is possible to make water freeze by restricting water flow, and started to work on my first glacier. Thus, the first artificial glacier was made in 1986 with 90,000 rupees and with help from the Desert Development Agency in Ladakh. Since then, until the time he retired from his post at the Rural Development Department in 1994, Norphel helped to create 15 artificial glaciers. Norphel's method of working entailed creating diversions in a river and making it enter into a valley, and also slowing down the stream by creating and constructing checks. Norphel also constructed these at lower areas so that these glaciers could melt earlier, which also resulted in extending the season of agriculture. The largest of Norphel's glaciers is at Pukse village, where a village of 700 people benefits from the glacier. This glacier is 1,000 feet long and 150 feet wide and 4 feet deep. Most of Norphel's projects have been funded by financial assistance from several state-run programs, the Army, and various national and international NGOs. Manual labor was provided by the local villagers, and Norphel created each glacier as close as possible to villages so that the settlements benefited in several ways. These artificial glaciers are low maintenance and very effective. Secondly, they melt faster than regular glaciers but provide enough to sustain the agricultural season of the summer months. Thirdly, these artificial glaciers also help to alleviate the groundwater level in the area. This is greatly helpful for year-round woes related to water scarcity. Thus, Norphel's artificial glaciers created a significant change in the ecology and environment of Ladakh. At present, a retired man, Norphel, however, feels happy that his work lives on. There are at least 3 NGOs in the region of Ladakh which work on artificial glaciers. I think it is an important work, and it is good to see it being continued with earnest effort. At times, they mention my work for the purpose of discussion at different seminars and conferences. Norphel's work has been documented across several dailies as well as on audiovisual media, including the documentary White Night by noted documentary filmmaker Aarti Srivastava. For his remarkable work, Norphel was also awarded the Jamnalal Bajaj Award in 2010 and the Government of India's Padma Shri Award in 2015.